Thank you, Ms. Berkeley, for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to EOF and EOPA and J for having me here as the keynote speaker today. Looking at everyone in this room, I would say that it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting in the same seat as many of the students that were here. I was an EOF student here at Rutgers, New Brunswick, and because of that program, I think it really molded me into the woman that I am today. If somebody was to ask me, if you were to pick any other institution, if you were to do your life all over again, would you go to a different institution? And I would tell them no. I consider myself a Rutgers breed, right? I got my bachelor's here, my master's in global affairs here, and my PhD in global affairs here. So I am truly a Rutgers breed. But today I want to talk to you about the importance of being a holistic and wholesome student. And what do I mean by holistic and wholesome? It's very important, and I think it's a necessity, of course, for you to be the brightest in the classroom, most intelligent, understanding of the knowledge and the skills of the things that you are learning as a student academically. But on the other side, we also need you to hone in your leadership skills and abilities. It's important that we have scholars who are leaders and leaders who are scholars. They make a difference in the classroom, and they make a difference outside of the classroom. I remember as a freshman, as an EOF student, at that time, my advisor was, I think she's dean now, Shannon Jules Brockenborough, here at Rutgers University. I believe she's still here. And she was my advisor. And I would talk to her about a lot of the different goals and aspirations that I had, and they were very big and they were very lofty. One of the things that I had as an undergraduate was a vision for my life. And that's one of the things that I would advise you to have as students. You need to have some form of a big picture of where you see yourself. You may not have all the directions yet. Everything may not be sort of panned out yet, but a vision, a picture. I used to see myself really in positions of power. That's literally what I would see myself, envision. But I would say, how would I get there? What is it that I need to get there? And I know that my education was one of the most important things that I needed. I know that furthering my education was one of the things that would be able to put me in a seat of decision-making, and in the seat of decision-making that won't have just an impact on myself, but an impact on other people. So it all started as a picture and as a vision. And thanks to many of the advisors and the people who worked in EOF, they were able to guide me in that direction. One of the other great programs that were here at Rutgers University was the Mcnair Scholars. I'm not sure if many of the university or colleges have that there, but I was a Mcnair Scholar, and that definitely honed and, I think, sharpened my own ability and passion to further my studies and get my doctorate. I didn't take any breaks after I graduated college. Right after I graduated college, I think that summer I started summer school straight into my master's and then transferred straight into my PhD. But one of the things I would tell you is that I want you all to kind of find what are the talents and the gifts that reside in me. I know that I am smart academically, but how can I use my talents and skills to make an impact in the university that you're in and outside of the classroom? I think one thing that has set me apart was my ability to step up when the occasion arrives to many leadership positions. I served, I think, as president of Chi Epsilon here on campus. I think that's the EOF National Honor Society. Very good. Do we have some Chi Alpha Epsilons in the room? Mcnair Scholar, Mac Scholar, Rutgers Emerging Leader Scholar. But the thing about it was that although we all may deal with insecurities and sometimes deal with the confidence, but it's imperative that you step up when the opportunity presents itself, to step up with leadership opportunities. And because of that, I remember as a doctoral student, and it didn't stop, as a graduate student, I served in many different positions. I remember receiving an email stating that because of your dedication to leadership, and your dedication to Rutgers University, we would like for you to serve on the Presidential Search Committee, and which is the 21 Search Committee membership that chose our current president, Rutgers University. So these are things that come in full circle. I don't want you to look at your college experience as just a fleeting experience. The decisions that you make now have a tremendous effect on your future. I want you to sit down and really think, am I making the perfect and the right decisions that will put me in a position that when the opportunity comes 5 years later, I'm ready and I'm prepared for it? Or when an opportunity presents itself 10 years later, I've done the best that I can, and now I can put my best self forward. These type of programs, the EOF programs, will give you the guidance, but you have to do the work. You have to, as an individual, set yourself apart and stand out. When I talk about wholesome and holistic students, I am talking about students who are successful academically and successful outside of the classroom. There's so many things, I think, as an undergraduate, when I sat in my own dorm room, I think it was here on Livingston campus in the Towers, and I remember thinking to myself, what are other things that I'm passionate? What are things that I'm passionate about doing? And I remember that was the first day I started my blog. I think I was a sophomore in college, and that blog was Putting Your Best Self Forward. I maintained that blog for a number of years. And from that blog, people will contact me and say, you know what? I love you reading your posts. Can you come and speak to my students? Can you come and speak at these organizations? And I give you that example because sometimes the little things that you may overlook may be the things that will actually set you apart in the future. Those may be the breeding grounds, right, for something greater for you to come. So I want you to find the crossroad of where your talent, gift, and academic background meet. Right, where your passion and your purpose, where that also converge to meet, and use that as a tool to impact not only yourself, but impact the greater community that is around you. Everyone here is not here by chance, right? You're all here by choice. You are here because you take your education seriously. You are here because you see a future for yourself. You are here because I truly believe you also have a vision for your life, a vision for your future, a vision for your academic endeavors. We need more minorities in the classroom. When I was a student, and I would say, even in my graduate students, it was far and few in between when I saw someone who looked like me walk into the classroom. Even in my graduate students getting a doctorate, there was not many black professors in my field. I got my PhD in global affairs, very male-dominated area. And I would sit in the classroom and I would say, okay, it's usual, until now it was my turn to now walk into the classroom and teach students. And I remember an African-American student of mine came up to me after the semester was over, and she said, you know, I'm a senior here at this institution, and you're the first black woman professor that I've ever had. And when they say representation doesn't matter, it does. Representation does matter. It does matter. So one thing I want to tell you is that just being who you are as a student, you never know the impact that you're going to have. Life is a circle. And one of the things that I will tell you is that many of the gaps that I saw as a young woman, as a student, were now gaps that I was able to bridge. Whether it's in my profession, whether it's in the areas that I'm passionate about, whether it's in the areas that I simply love. Those were areas that now, because I have done the work, I can now stand in that gap and bridge it and bring it closer together. So the experiences that you have as a college student, please don't look at it as fleeting. This is literally the testing and the breeding grounds to your future aspirations. One wrong decision can mean a totally different life, and I'm going to be honest with you with that. So it's so important that you focus on your decision-making as young people who are going to one day change some of the policies, some of the laws, some of the issues and global issues that we have in this world. So the next generation is basically you. The next level of leadership is you. The next political level of leadership, it's sitting in this room, whether it's on the university level, whether it's on the federal level, or whether it's on the global level, it's you. So the decisions you make now, hundreds of people it will impact. So I want you to look at your life as not just your own, but how your life will impact other people. How the major that you pick, sometimes, even though maybe you're not passionate about it, that's totally okay. But that major and what you study in college will be used to some form of a degree, right, to make some form of an impact, whether in the workplace or outside of the workplace. And if you can't find the passion within your work, it's okay. The passion can reside outside of your work. During the time of my graduate studies, I founded what we call Young Woman's Guide because I felt that there was a need to provide leadership development for young women from all backgrounds. To date, we have done leadership development programs in South Africa, in Nigeria, and throughout the United States. And this is what we call helping young women with the skills to be leaders, right? but I'm very passionate about developing young people into leaders using their academic background to make some form of impact in whatever endeavors they want to go. So one of the things that I will leave you, and one of the things that I want to tell you is that I remember graduating in 2009, right? I'm giving you my age. In 2009, and I left the door open when I left in order to return. And what I would say by that is that cherish the people that usher you into the next level of life. Cherish and be grateful for the advisors that you have. Be thankful that they are there and that they are in your life to mold you into the person that you are tomorrow. Many of the people sitting in this room, I was an undergraduate when they were in the positions that they were helping me, molding me, giving me the advice and the guidance that I need. Without them, right, I won't have many of the skills and the abilities that I have today. And I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for their presence in my life. And now it's time for me to pay it forward, right? And it will be time for you to pay it forward. It will be time for you to open a door for another young man or young woman who will come under your tutelage for guidance and for advice. It would be time for you now to sit down in your office hours possibly to mentor and coach someone else. Life is a circle. So the decisions you make, it all comes back. So I want to make sure that you understand that your position here as a college student is just the beginning for what is to come tomorrow. The decisions that you make as a college student will have an effect on the future and of the future academic endeavors and professional endeavors that you will have tomorrow. And again, we all need you in so many different spaces. Everyone here is literally the reflection of what the future of our world will look like. And I am hoping that many of you here who are in the audience will rise up to tackle and speak against many of the global issues that we have in our world, will bridge the gap between sometimes the lack of diversity, sometimes that we still see, whether it's in higher ed or in corporate America, or sometimes in areas of politics, and that you will take the academic background that you have been blessed with to make an impact somewhere else. So before I leave you, I want you all to stand, please. Yes, yes, stand, stand, stand. Come on, stand. Is everybody standing? Thank you very much. So there's one thing that I want you to recite, and it's really short. I cut the poem in half. But it's a statement by Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson is a psychologist, but she is also a wonderful motivational speaker. And this is a quote that I hold dear to my heart, right? I do believe that it's imperative that everybody shine in their own field, that nobody sort of hides in the oblivion or hides in the background. That as a student, you sit in front of the classroom, right, and you let your gifts and knowledge and intelligence be known. So this quote that she says is titled Our Deepest Fear, but I'm going to take the part that I think is so important. So I want you to say after me. I ask myself, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, to be handsome, to be talented, to be fabulous? Actually, who am I not to be? My playing small does not serve the world. I was made to shine. And as I let my own light shine, I unconsciously give others the permission to do the same. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you for choosing me to be your keynote speaker. And I wish everyone much success in their academic and future endeavors.
Okay, hi. Thank you, Dr. Yetunde. Thank you. We're going to move into the next segment.